All praise to the Most High Creator and Sustainer of life in the universe. Thank the subscribers and supporters of the Church Talk Unlimited YouTube channel. Please continue to like, to comment, and share the videos that you find important and helpful. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, if you believe the content that I present is important and helpful. I know that there are a lot of troubles in the world, and there have always been a lot of trouble in the world according to the Bible. However, because of the internet, we are able to learn about troubles all around the earth in a matter of seconds. As a result, everyone that I know about who is in trouble, who is being troubled, is always in my prayers. And I pray that I'm in yours, because we have a world that needs saving, and I don't know how. I'm trying to talk with people who are wise, people who know, people who understand, people who are intelligent, people who care. I'm trying to talk with them to try to get a good understanding of what my life should be about in this life. Hello, it is Saturday, May 25th, 2024, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to Church Talk Unlimited. My allergies are getting me, y'all. Unlimited with James Paul Berry. Please excuse me. We're going to talk about being full of hypocrisy. If you have your Bibles, we'll begin reading in Matthew chapter 23 of the New Testament, verses 27 and 28. We'll read this and we will come back and talk about it briefly. Matthew 23, verses 27 and 28. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs. You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of the bones of the dead and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside, you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside, you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. We're talking about full of hypocrisy. Full of hypocrisy. Based on the definition of what it means to be a hypocrite, based on what it means to be a hypocrite, most likely anyone who has lived as long as I have played the part of a hypocrite at some point or another. Before you say, no, not me, let me read you the definition that I got from dictionary.com. Dictionary.com says, hypocrisy is the practice of having moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform. Now, when I was a child, and I used to hear people talking about those hypocrites, I thought they were talking about people who made mistakes sometimes, or people who didn't do right all the time, people who slipped up sometime. And sometimes they were, but the actual meaning of hypocrisy, based on the research that I've done, is a person who pretends to have high moral standards or high moral beliefs that their own behavior does not follow. In other words, they speak about high moral character, but they don't carry it out. Full of hypocrisy. This is what Jesus said. Full means, and I got this from the Britannica dictionary, full means containing or holding as much or as many as possible. Now, this definition says that if you're full, you can't get any more in there. Full of hypocrisy. There's no room for righteousness if we are filled with hypocrisy. I want to show a word. Now, Jesus is talking to Pharisees, lawyers who studied and taught the Torah. But you and I have to stop looking at the Holy Bible. If we're going to use it to get the most value, we're going to have to apply it to our lives in 2024 and stop looking at if Jesus is always talking to somebody else. Full means containing or holding as much or as many as possible, based on what the Britannica dictionary says about full. Full of hypocrisy means we can't get anything else in ourselves, in our hearts, in our minds, in our spirits, in our lives, because we're full already. We're full of pretending. Jesus says a word that we hardly ever use in teaching the Bible or teaching anything that I'm familiar with. The first word he uses in Matthew 23:27, y'all forgive me, but my nose is driving me crazy. Matthew 23:27, he says, "Woe to you teachers." A teacher is a person who teaches or instructs, especially as a profession, as an instructor. These were teachers of the law and Pharisees, and the law, of course, was the Torah. The law we use today is the Torah, parts of the Torah, parts of the New Testament, parts of our family customs and traditions, U.S. law. But those who teach these laws, regardless of which law we teach, we should uphold the same laws that we teach. Law is the principles and regulations established in a community by some authority and applicable to its people, whether in the form of legislation or of custom and policies recognized and enforced by judicial decision. I tell people often that anybody in the church who's been studying the Bible for 50 years ought to have some type of understanding about what they are doing. They shouldn't just be plodding along because some preacher told them to do so. We are in an established community. And this is in this community, Jesus said, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. But being full of hypocrisy, we're not going to be able to pull it off. Paul talked about when we fail to embrace righteousness, we end up establishing our own righteousness, and eventually God gets tired of us and sends us a strong delusion, so much so that we will believe a lie. What lie? The lie that I'm righteous even though I'm really full of hypocrisy. Why am I full of hypocrisy? Because I pretend to love God. I pretend to love you. I pretend to love myself. Full of hypocrisy. A Pharisee was a member of a Jewish sect that flourished along with the Sadducees during the first century. And the Apostle Paul, historically, was a member of this sect, and they believed in the Spirit, and they believed in a number of things, resurrection, and that the Sadducees didn't believe in, but they all believed in the Torah. Very strange. Hypocrite, a person who pretends to have virtues, a person who pretends to have morals or religious beliefs, principles, etc., that they do not actually possess, especially a person whose actions belie stated beliefs. Now, we all mess up sometime. I know I do. I know I have, and most likely I will. But my actions should never overshadow my stated beliefs. If I have been telling you that I believe in love, I believe in goodness, and you shouldn't see me mistreating people. You shouldn't see me robbing people, lying on people, lying to people. Otherwise, I'm being hypocritical. A hypocrite is also a person who feigns some desirable or publicly approved attitude, especially one whose private life, opinions, or statements belie their public statements. The church is a very important organization, not only an organization, but an organism. But if we play the hypocrite, that organism is going to die. I remember John in the book of Revelation said to one of the congregations of the Lord's church that you have a name that is alive, but you are dead. If we are full of hypocrisy, we are dead. We can go to church 2 or 3 times a week, once a year, however we want to do it, doesn't matter, because we are dead. Because we don't have the necessary ingredients to keep us alive. Just having faith in our heads and not doing anything with it is dead faith. James said faith without works is dead. Jesus said to those men, and I know he wasn't talking to us church people at that time, but if we read between the lines, so to speak, we'll see that it is talking to us or talking to anybody who should be doing right or who tells people that they believe in a life of righteousness. Jesus said, what you're doing, you are the equivalent of a whitewashed tomb, a whitewashed grave. And a tomb was a grave. That's all it was. Something that was hewn out of the rock, a cave that they would bury dead people in. And eventually, when the body decayed and they keep burying family members, eventually that place would be full of dead men's bones. And Jesus said, that's what you look like to God. That's what I look like to God. That's what we look like to God. when we pretend that we are living by God's will when we know we're really living by our own will. Jesus says, on the outside, you look beautiful. He says it's whitewashed, which means that it has been cleaned up to look beautiful. But he said on the inside, there are ugly things in there. There are things that are not right on the inside. If you and I are playing the hypocrite, if you and I are full of hypocrisy, when we go to church tomorrow, that's what we're doing. We're showing the world, we're showing the people, we're showing each other this beautiful whitewashed tomb, smiling teeth, nice suit, dress, shoes, perfume, cologne, lotion, moisturizer. But on the inside, I have a dead spirit. I'm full of dead men's bones. And Jesus said, not only that they're full of hypocrisy, but he said wickedness. If we don't repent, if we don't change our ways, we're going to get worse. According to the Bible, we are going to get worse, going from bad to evil to wicked. And if we're not careful, whatever sins we are guilty of, we're going to die with them. And as the Bible says, we're going to be resurrected to be judged. We're going to have to get up and answer for the wrong we've done. And as I say, we all have done wrong. Anybody who's lived 73 years, you've done something wrong. I know I have a whole lot. I'm sorry about that. I still do things wrong. I have to say I'm sorry about that. I will do things wrong in the future. And I look forward to saying I'm sorry about that because I want to do the right thing. I don't know the right thing to do. I'm trying to learn. That's why I like talking to you all. I like listening to you all. I don't agree with all of you, but I like to talk to you to get another idea other than what's bouncing around in my head. This world is in trouble on every hand. This world is in trouble. But we don't have to be full of hypocrisy. Until next time, I wish you the fullness of the Creator. God bless you. Next week, God willing, I will be starting 3 hours later. Next week, we're talking about forgiveness. And I started to reschedule it, but I want to do it. But I have another event that I need to be at 5 p.m. So I'm going to come on, God willing, at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That would be my time in California on the West Coast. Y'all forgive me, but I'm itching like crazy. So I will come on next Saturday, God willing. Instead of 5 p.m., I will be coming on at 8 p.m. That's 3 hours later than today. I'm going to see who's in the live chat, and then I'm going to bid you Godspeed. I see Brother Walker is the only one here. Thank you for being here, Brother Walker. Blessings to you and yours. I'm so thankful for your presence, and I appreciate you being here. Blessings to all of those who may be out there in the background and you're afraid to say what's on your mind. I understand. I do. I understand. But you're welcome to say it here. And if they take us down, they'll take us down together. I do believe that there is a God with all power somewhere. But I'm trying to find out for sure. Until next time, God bless you.